Job title is Resettlement Broker, and I work in Greenwich prisons, so that's Belmarsh, ISIS and Thameside. The best route would be if we got a referral about 3 months before they're released. That allows us to build up a relationship with the client. We'll assess them in prison, assess them on the mental health, what their housing needs are, if they're in any debt, or if they have issues around bank accounts or ID, GPs. So get basically a background information, and so that allows us to start working on their release prior to the release. So meet them at the gate, and then I'll take them to the first appointment at probation, because it's important they have to meet with probation within the first 3 days. So we do that first and try to get that meeting done really quickly, because the really important issue is housing. So most of the time there's been a homeless referral done by staff in prison, but we do present, and it can be quite difficult because with a mental health diagnosis our client's a priority, so they council has an obligation to house them, but more often than not housing officers are trying to protect their housing stock, so they put barriers up. It can be really awkward. I tend to brief my clients before, saying that they're going to be antagonistic, they're going to just generally just try to upset you, so that you'll just get really tired of the process and just up and leave and disengage. So I prep my clients to maybe 6 hours, be prepared to wait for 6 hours to try and get the housing resolved. So generally in that time, because there's a lot of waiting, I'll start applying for universal credit with them, and then we'll do something called a PIP call to personal independent payment. That's an extra payment due to their mental health. So we'll do that over the phone. If they haven't got a GP, then it's a difficult one, because if we don't know where they're going to be housed, we can't make an appointment to register with a GP, which is really important. They need a GP. We have to get them registered really quickly so they can get repeat meds. Hopefully at the end of the day, usually about 5 o'clock, they're offered some emergency accommodation, and that can be anywhere. So I've had somebody in South East London housed in North West London. So we've got to go then from housing, go all the way to placement, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away, which is again 2 hours away from the probation, 2 hours away from all their local connections, so that can be really difficult. And then sometimes we arrive and the place is just a diabolical state. We have to go out, buy them bed linen, pillows, duvets, a cup, a plate, some food, just to get them through the first few days. So yeah, that first day is really, really, really crucial and difficult. I'd say 95% presenting homeless, yeah. So, yeah. But, as I said, because of their mental health, there's three priorities. There's old age, disability and mental health. So the council does have a responsibility, but on, I say about 40 to 50% of the cases, they will try anything. They'll say you need to produce this evidence, that evidence. And obviously if we don't have it to hand, you have to prove a local connection, and if we can't prove that because they've been street homeless, they can use that as a reason to refuse